Hold up.
Roman Reigns and Finn Balor's The Demon had an interesting ending to their match. While the match in itself was fun to watch given the immense brutality, the ending wasn't well received by most of the fans. In the end, the Demon climbed the top rope to take a leap on Roman, but at the last seconds the top rope broke. There wasn't any explanation as to why the rope broke, but it did. This helped Roman secure the victory. But, some of the fans are rather disappointed with WWE for making an ending that ruins the Finn Balor, but protects the tribal chief. In fact, fans don't have a problem with WWE keeping Roman the Universal Champion, but with the way it happened. It isn't every day that the top rope snaps, especially at a main event of a PPV. While everyone understands it is staged, most feel this could lead to the Demon being buried. And, if not buried, WWE demolished the Demon's undefeated streak. Here's some fans' reactions. That wasn't wild, it was predictable as fuck, and that's the problem. Why ruin the Demon like that? Finn on his way out. Couldn't blame him after that, pure garbage. The Roman Reigns and the Usos couldn't beat the Demon, but the ropes breaking did. That was terrible. He is still. That's as too much. Title must be changed. The top turnbuckle randomly snapping made no sense. WWE could have come up with a better finish. Lame. Giving the fans what they doesn't hurt once in a while. Giving us a fairly decent match only to ruin it at the end. And you wonder why you're losing to AEW and Impact. My texts right before the ropes broke, because you knew something was coming. And just like that, the Demon Finn Balor is buried. Get the golden shovels out, boys. An ending where something like a top rope breaks, it's not the best way to lose. Moreover, this was ending the undefeated streak of the Demon. Almost everyone knew that WWE wouldn't make Roman Reigns drop the title to the Demon. There's a reason the company brought back Brock Lesnar, and that is to have the Beast dethrone the tribal chief. However, even if the plan was to have the Beast dethrone Reigns, WWE could have given the fans a better ending. Undoubtedly, the top rope breaking is related to either Lesnar or the Demon or someone, but so far even Roman Reigns is unaware about how the top rope actually broke. Roman later took to Twitter to break his silence following the huge victory. Here's what the tribal chief wrote. Above all else. #Extreme Rules 2021. Sasha Banks breaks silence after returning at WWE Extreme Rules. WWE Extreme Rules was a night full of crazy finishes and moments, and the return of Sasha Banks was certainly one of those moments. Sasha Banks has finally broken her silence following her return at Extreme Rules. While the message was short, it is powerful. The former multi-time women's champion says she will be returning to SmackDown next week. During what seemed to be the final moments of the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, the boss made a furious return. Banks attacked Belair, giving her the DQ victory, but no title to show for it. Becky Lynch then seemed to try and form an alliance with Banks, but she, too, was attacked by Banks. Sasha Banks hasn't been seen on TV since the lead-up to SummerSlam, where she was slated to face Bianca for the SmackDown Women's Championship before getting pulled from the event without any explanation. Bayley responds to Sasha Banks' return at WWE Extreme Rules. Sasha Banks' return to WWE has drawn responses from WWE superstars and fans alike. One of them being Banks' best friend, enemy, Bayley. Like Banks' tweet, Bayley's tweet was short, but certainly not sweet. Damn, she annoying. Bray Wyatt confirms AEW debut. Former WWE Universal Champion The Fiend, aka Bray Wyatt, took to Twitter last night's WWE Extreme Rules PPV and uploaded a massive throwback photo of him, where he is seen with his Wyatt family faction. The pro wrestling fans are eagerly waiting for the return of Bray Wyatt ever since he was let go by WWE this year. Since then, Wyatt is serving his 90 days non-compete clause. However, his clause will get over next week and it looks like Wyatt will return to the squared circle. However, it looks like he is moving to AEW, given that the show will be in Rochester, New York, which is Brody Lee's hometown. Wyatt uploaded a pic on his Twitter of a time at WWE house show. There's holiday tour back in 2013, where the Wyatt family took on Daniel Bryan and the Usos. Eventually, the babyface team of Bryan and the Usos won back then. However, Bray uploading this picture could mean that the Eater of the Worlds is itching to debut on AEW. We can see that Wyatt is standing next to the late Brody Lee, who was employed in AEW at his last days, and the AEW event next week is happening on Lee's soil, and Bryan might make his appearance to honor Lee's legacy. Before Brody Lee passed away, he was the leader of the faction in AEW called the Dark Order. Now that he is not with us, but Bray Wyatt could become a suiting leader of the faction. Eric Rowan also made few appearances for Tony Khan's company and also paid tribute on an episode dedicated to Brody Lee. With Rowan and Wyatt in their corner, AEW can create a bigger faction than the Wyatt family. Wyatt's 90 days no-compete clause will be over by next week and he will be eligible to wrestle again. Bryan Danielson has shared his thoughts on the fanboy wars between AEW and WWE fans. Danielson is one of the major names that signed with AEW. He had been with WWE since 2010 and even competed in the main event of WrestleMania earlier this year. Danielson says that while leaving WWE was a difficult decision to make, he made the jump because he felt AEW provided an exciting challenge. Of course, fans on both sides constantly argue on social media over which product is better. Danielson addressed this during an interview with Sports Illustrated. After I got a little promo and I said, I love where I worked before, that got a huge chorus of boos. But it's true. I think that also speaks to it's not just a wrestling culture thing. I think there's also a tribalism in our country right now. The narrative of being on one side or the other, and I think most people are actually very rational and will enjoy both sides, but I think the harder edges, and those are the people who tend to speak out more. Danielson went on to say that social media brings out the worst in fanboys from both companies. Bryan Danielson has been all class since his WWE departure. He even penned a thank you letter to WWE Chairman Vince McMahon. He also admitted that he enjoyed working with WWE writers. On the Grand Slam edition of Dynamite in New York City, Danielson made his in-ring debut for AEW. He went 30 minutes with AEW World Champion Kenny Omega in a draw. After the match, Danielson expressed gratitude to the fans in AEW.
I came back for my spotlight that I deserve.
Personally, I say, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button, and if you have something to say, please leave a comment.
Oh, let me up with a bright smile on now. Put me in the dark, so won't get lost now. To the moonlight, eyes you.